Everything is happening so fast. I'm not sure when she had this mental break, but if I had to guess, I'm assuming it's when our daughter was born. In the weeks that followed, I think her exhaustion started to take hold of her. She started talking in her sleep. Hell, she even started sleepwalking. The things she'd say in her sleep led me to believe she was having nightmares. Lots of tossing and turning, lots of grunting. Sometimes she'd wake up screaming either mine or my daughter's name. What concerned me most, however, was what she'd do in her sleep. It took me a while to notice. She'd wake up with dirt covering her hands and mud caking her fingernails. She liked to garden, so of course I didn't think much of it. But when things started going missing, that's when I knew something was afoot. Baby bottles, pacifiers, family photos. It was gradual, but the more I noticed, the more I'd scratch my head. Our daughter would go crazy. Both me and my wife would search the house thoroughly for any of her missing toys, missing bibs, or fresh diapers. She swore up and down that she had no idea where anything was. I wanted to believe her. And I did, for a time. But when she woke me up one night while sneaking out of bed, I realized what was really going on. I thought it was because the baby was crying. I thought that she was just going to rock her back to sleep. But she was snoring as she rose from our bed. I chose to follow her just to see what she does when this kind of thing happens. I ignored our baby, just for a while, and tiptoed behind my wife as she made her way through our bedroom and loomed over our daughter's crib. I expected her to reach down and pick her up, but instead she took the crib mobile that hung over my baby's head, completely ignoring her wails as she walked towards the dark hallway. From there, she glided down the stairs and through the kitchen and dining room. She looked completely cognizant as she opened the back door and walked out into the night. I was always told you're not supposed to wake a sleepwalker, so I just watched her as she dropped to her hands and knees and began clawing at the dirt in the backyard. I was nervous, but more so I was stunned, distracted by the dozen patches of dirt that I had neglected to notice since this all started happening. She dug a hole about a foot deep and a foot wide with her bare hands before dropping the mobile inside. Still snoring, still with her eyes closed, she filled the hole, walked past me and back to our bedroom and collapsed into bed, our baby still wailing. It was up to me to get the baby back to sleep that night. I held her tight, rocking her gently until silence fell over the room. I woke up the next morning with a clear mission: find my daughter's missing toys. I went outside with a trowel and began slowly digging. I found the bottles, found the toys and bibs. But when I confronted my wife about it, she was adamant that it wasn't her. She cried when I showed her the holes in the yard. She cried harder when I showed her the dirty bottles and baby clothes. She seemed both confused and remorseful. For a while after that, the sleepwalking stopped. The talking didn't. But that was something I could live with. At least things weren't going missing anymore. At least for a while. I'm writing this now because I woke up this morning in a bed full of dirt. I woke up to a wife covered in grime and mud. And I woke up to a silent house with an empty crib in the corner of our bedroom. I panicked. My wife panicked. And immediately the two of us ran to the backyard. We're waiting on the police now. Because the grave in the backyard was much bigger than any of the others. And instead of crying, my wife, she won't stop laughing.